So, let's begin with a surprising fact. By age 50, nearly half of all men will experience some form of erectile dysfunction according to data from the Cleveland Clinic. And yet, most will never speak to their doctor about it. They might blame it on aging or stress or simply think this is just how it is now. But here's the truth. Sexual performance doesn't have to decline just because your age increases. In fact, what you do, especially right before bed, can significantly influence not just the quality of your sleep, but also your hormone levels, blood flow, and yes, your morning performance. A nice drink. It might not be what you think. And no, we're not talking about sketchy supplements or mysterious potions from the internet. We're talking about natural evidence-based strategies that support nitric oxide production, testosterone regulation, and pelvic blood flow. All foundational to sexual function. And there's one particular bedtime habit, a specific drink that has real scientific backing when it comes to improving vascular health, supporting hormone balance, and helping you wake up with energy, clarity, and confidence. In this video, we're going to unpack exactly what this drink is, why it works, and what science actually says about the mechanisms behind it. But we're not stopping there. We'll also explore how nighttime hydration affects testosterone, why timing matters more than quantity, what nutrients directly fuel endothelial function, how blood flow is the real key, not just hormone levels, and the powerful link between sleep, nitric oxide, and sexual performance. This isn't a one-size-fits-all miracle, but it is something you can start tonight safely and affordably with zero side effects. Something I recommend often to patients who are dealing with low libido, sluggish mornings, or just feeling like their spark is fading. Because here's the truth, sexual health is whole body health. It's your vascular system, your hormones, your nervous system all working together. And if even one of those systems is off, performance suffers. But the good news is you can support these systems gently, daily, and starting tonight with simple changes that actually work. So, let's break this all down like I would with a patient. We're going to separate fear from fact, bust a few myths, and give you practical tools you can use today. Because you deserve clarity, not shame. You deserve information that empowers, not overwhelms. And you deserve to wake up feeling like yourself again. Let's start with something that surprises many of my patients. Most erectile issues aren't rooted in low testosterone. They're vascular. That means they're about blood flow, not just hormones. In fact, according to a landmark paper published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology, erectile dysfunction, ED, is often an early warning sign of cardiovascular disease. Why? Because the blood vessels in the penis are among the smallest in the body. And when they start to narrow, you'll feel it there first. Think of your vascular system as a network of highways and back roads. For a firm, reliable erection, you need traffic to flow freely and quickly through clear, flexible pathways. If those pathways are inflamed, stiff, or clogged, blood flow slows and performance suffers. So what controls these blood vessels? One major player is a molecule called nitric oxide, NO. It's produced by the endothelial cells lining your blood vessels, and it's responsible for relaxing and widening those vessels, a process called vasodilation. Nitric oxide is the reason drugs like Viagra work. They amplify its effect. But your body can produce nitric oxide naturally if you support it properly. And this is where your bedtime drink begins to matter, because certain compounds like dietary nitrates, flavonoids, and antioxidants directly enhance nitric oxide production, especially when consumed in the evening. Your body is primed to repair and restore during sleep. Feeding it the right fuel just before bed supports this natural regenerative process. One study from the University of Exeter published in Hypertension showed that consuming nitrate-rich beetroot juice improved vascular function within hours and continued to improve blood pressure and flow over several weeks. That same mechanism applies to erectile tissue. Imagine your penile tissue like a sponge. To inflate properly, it needs a strong push of fluid, blood under pressure. Nitric oxide opens the tap. But if the tap is blocked or the pressure low, you'll never fill the sponge fully. That's why performance issues often show up in the morning. You wake up not just tired, but with soft or no erections. It's a vascular issue, hiding in plain sight. So, here's your first takeaway. Focus on blood flow. First, before chasing hormone replacement or exotic pills. Ensure your vascular health is optimized. And one of the easiest, lowest risk ways to start. Drinking a nitric oxide to supportive beverage about an hour before bed. Now, I'll show you exactly what that drink is and why it works. But first, if this is helping clarify things, give this video a thumbs up and keep learning. You deserve science that empowers you, not confuses you. Let's talk about the drink itself. The one I often recommend to men over 50 who are experiencing sluggish performance, especially in the morning. It's not exotic. It's not expensive. And it's not risky. It's beetroot juice. Specifically, nitrate-rich beetroot juice taken in a small amount, about 1/2 2:1 cup 1 hour before bed. Why beetroot juice? Because it's one of the richest natural sources of dietary nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide, the very molecule that relaxes your blood vessels and improves blood flow, including to the penis. A 2015 randomized controlled trial published in the American Journal of Physiology found that beetroot juice significantly increased nitric oxide levels and improved endothelial function in healthy adults. Another study in hypertension research showed that even a single dose of beetroot juice lowered systolic blood pressure. Evidence that vasodilation was occurring quickly and the benefits for erectile function. While research is still growing, preliminary studies and anecdotal clinical evidence strongly suggest that the same mechanisms that improve cardiovascular health also benefit penile blood flow. Let me give you a visual. Imagine your arteries and capillaries as garden hoses. Over time, sediment in the form of inflammation, oxidative stress, and poor lifestyle choices builds up in the walls. This stiffens them, narrows them, and makes it harder for water or blood to flow freely. Beetroot juice acts like a gentle flush, opening up those pathways and restoring smooth flow, especially when consumed consistently. But it gets better. Beets are also rich in betalains, antioxidants that reduce oxidative stress in your endothelial lining, the very part of the blood vessel that produces nitric oxide. So, you're not just boosting nitric oxide in the moment. You're helping your body create more of it on its own. Over time. Now timing matters. I recommend taking beetroot juice 60 to 90 minutes before bed. That's enough time for your digestive system to convert the nitrates into nitrites and eventually into nitric oxide in your blood. And since nighttime is when your body does most of its repair work, you're synchronizing this vascular boost with your body's natural rhythms. A few clinical tips. Go for pure beetroot juice without added sugar or preservatives. And if you're concerned about the taste, try mixing it with a bit of tart cherry juice. Another sleep-friendly, antioxidant-rich option. Start with small amounts and observe how your body responds. Some people are sensitive to the earthy taste or experience mild digestive upset if they take too much too soon. This is something I see a lot in my practice. Men coming in worried about their performance only to realize no one ever addressed the health of their blood vessels. This simple natural drink helps us begin that conversation. And just a reminder, comment below if this resonates. Has anyone ever talked to you about nitric oxide before? Let's open this conversation because men deserve to understand how their bodies really work. Now, we'll unpack why timing, especially after 9 p.m., can make or break the benefits. Let's say you've decided to start drinking beetroot juice before bed. Great. But what if I told you that the timing of that drink could significantly impact how well it works? Or even backfire? You see, your body isn't static. After about 9 p.m., it shifts into a completely different operating mode driven by your circadian rhythm. This internal clock governs everything from hormone production to blood pressure, digestive function, and brain activity. And during this window, usually between 9 p.m. and 2 a.m., your body begins producing melatonin, the hormone that helps you fall and stay asleep. At the same time, cortisol levels begin to drop and your core body temperature lowers. These changes set the stage for deep restorative sleep during which your body repairs tissues, regulates hormones, and crucially produces testosterone. Now, here's the key. For this hormonal symphony to work smoothly, your hydration and nutrient intake need to align with it, not disrupt it. Let's break this down like I would with a patient. If you drink too much fluid too late, say 30 minutes before bed, you may trigger increased nocturnal urination. That means getting up at 2 a.m., disrupting deep sleep, and cutting short your testosterone production window. Even one night of interrupted sleep can measurably lower your testosterone levels the next day, according to studies from the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism. On the flip side, strategic hydration, not too much, not too late, with the right nutrients can enhance the benefits of sleep and support hormonal restoration. Beetroot juice is uniquely suited for this because it contains minimal sugar, so it won't spike your insulin right before bed. It doesn't contain caffeine or stimulants, which could disrupt melatonin. The nitrate to nitric oxide conversion happens gradually, reaching peak effect during your early sleep cycles when blood pressure naturally dips and your body's parasympathetic system is active. The parasympathetic nervous system, sometimes called the rest and digest system, supports smooth muscle relaxation, digestion, and recovery. And not surprisingly, it plays a huge role in erectile function. Erections, especially nighttime ones, are a parasympathetic response. That's why men often experience spontaneous erections during REM sleep, a healthy sign of pelvic blood flow and neural integrity. So, when you consume beetroot juice about 60 to 90 minutes before sleep, you're synchronizing your nutrient intake with your body's repair window, giving it time to absorb, convert, and circulate nitric oxide while you sleep. Here's a pro tip from my clinic. Pair this drink with a relaxing wind down ritual. That might mean dimming the lights, stretching your legs, or taking a warm shower. These behaviors also activate the parasympathetic system and amplify the vascular effects. Remember, it's not just what you drink, it's when and how. And if this is helping you reframe the role of sleep and nighttime habits in your sexual health, consider subscribing. We unpack these kinds of topics every week with clinical accuracy, not hype. Now, we're going to zoom in on how deep sleep and nitric oxide team up to improve sexual performance by morning. It might sound surprising, but one of the strongest predictors of morning erections isn't testosterone alone. It's sleep quality. And not just sleep duration, but the actual depth and rhythm of your sleep cycles. Here's what the research shows. Testosterone production occurs predominantly during REM sleep, that rapid eye movement phase associated with dreaming and deep brain restoration. Studies published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, JAMA, and Sleep Journal have consistently found that men who get less than 5 to 6 hours of quality sleep produce significantly less testosterone the next day. Sometimes as much as 10 to 15% less after just one night. And the consequences beyond lower libido or energy. Insufficient REM sleep means fewer nighttime erections. And that's more than just a psychological signal. It's a biological maintenance mechanism. Let's break this down like I would with a patient. Your penis needs oxygen regularly to keep its tissues elastic, responsive, and well-nourished. Nocturnal erections are your body's natural way of oxygenating the corpus cavernosum, the sponge-like tissue that fills with blood during arousal. If these nighttime erections decline or disappear due to stress, poor sleep, or vascular disease, it can lead to long-term tissue rigidity and decreased responsiveness. So, think of it like this. Just as you need to stretch your muscles to maintain flexibility, your body uses nighttime erections to stretch your erectile tissue, keeping it healthy and responsive. So, what does this have to do with your bedtime drink? A nitrate-rich drink like beetroot juice doesn't just support erection through nitric oxide. It also improves sleep quality by promoting blood pressure regulation and parasympathetic nervous system activation, both of which are critical for entering deep and REM sleep states. A 2019 study from Nutrients Journal explored how dietary polyphenol, especially those found in beets, tart cherries, and pomegranates, enhance sleep architecture, meaning they help you reach and maintain deeper sleep phases. And as we've discussed, deeper sleep leads to stronger hormone output, including testosterone and growth hormone, both of which support sexual function. So, here is the takeaway. If you're not sleeping well, your performance will suffer. Period. Even if you're doing everything else right. Exercising, eating clean, even taking supplements, if your body isn't resting, it isn't restoring. This is why I often tell my patients, your erection starts the night before, not in the moment, not at the gym, and not because of a pill. It starts in the quiet hours of sleep, where your body heals, rebuilds, and recharges. Here's one gentle habit to stack with your nighttime drink. Cut off screen exposure, especially blue light, from phones or tablets, at least 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Blue light suppresses melatonin, delays REM onset, and fragments sleep. Even just one bad night can affect your hormonal rhythm for days. When you combine this with your beetroot-based drink, you're not just hoping for better performance, you're creating the physiological conditions for it. Now, we're going to explore which nutrients in that drink and in your evening diet support vascular health even further. So far, we've talked about blood flow, nitric oxide, and sleep. But let's now zoom in on the actual nutrients that make this nighttime drink and your entire vascular system function better. Because it's not just about drinking beet juice. It's about what's in it and how those nutrients interact with your body at night. Let's start with nitrates. Natural compounds found abundantly in beets, arugula, spinach, and other leafy greens. As we've discussed, these nitrates convert to nitric oxide, relaxing blood vessels and improving circulation. But there's a catch. Your body needs the right internal environment, especially a healthy oral microbiome, to make this conversion efficient. That's right. Mouth bacteria play a role here. A 2018 study published in Free Radical Biology and Medicine found that using antiseptic mouthwash actually reduced nitric oxide levels by disrupting the bacteria that convert nitrate to nitrite in the mouth. So here's a small tip. Avoid antiseptic mouthwash right before bed if you're using nitrate-rich drinks to support blood flow. Now let's talk about magnesium. A mineral most adults are deficient in, especially as we age. Magnesium relaxes smooth muscle tissue including in the blood vessels, lowers blood pressure, and supports the parasympathetic nervous system. One double-blind placebo-controlled study from the Journal of Human Hypertension found that daily magnesium supplementation reduced both systolic and diastolic blood pressure, key indicators of vascular tone. It also reduced cortisol levels, supporting deeper sleep. Tart cherry juice, a beautiful pairing with beet juice, contains a modest amount of magnesium as well as melatonin and polyphenol. These polyphenol act as antioxidants, mopping up free radicals that can damage the endothelium, the lining of your blood vessels. Think of your blood vessels like a garden hose left out in the sun. Over time, UV rays, oxidation, and weathering can make the host stiff and cracked. Polyphenol act like a protective coating, keeping those vessels smooth, supple, and responsive. Here's a quick nutrient stack I often recommend for a nighttime vascular tonic. Half cup beetroot juice. A quarter cup tart cherry juice. Optional, a magnesium glycinate supplement 200 to 400 mg taken separately with water. Optional addition, a few slices of fresh watermelon, which contains citrin, a precursor to nitric oxide that works synergistically with nitrates. This combination supports nitric oxide production, muscle relaxation, sleep initiation, and testosterone restoration without relying on pharmaceuticals or unproven supplements. And among over again 152 studies, nitric oxide is the most effective derma hijacking agent of. And yes, it's supported by clinical data. Studies in Nutrition Journal and Frontiers in Nutrition have repeatedly highlighted the synergistic effects of combining nitrates, polyphenol, and sleep-supportive minerals like magnesium for improving vascular health, erectile function, and restorative sleep. So the next time you think about performance, think about nutrients, not just testosterone, 'cause hormones can't work if your blood can't flow. And blood can't flow well if your vessels are inflamed, rigid, or undernourished. Now, we'll explore how to stack simple evening habits beyond just the drink to create a nightly ritual that supports sexual vitality from every angle. By now you understand the science behind nitric oxide, vascular health, and sleep. But here's something I always emphasize with my patients. Not just what you drink. It's what you do around the drink that amplifies the results. In clinical medicine, we call this stacking behaviors. It's when small, well-timed habits compound one another's benefits, creating powerful physiological synergy. So, let's walk through a few simple evening behaviors you can pair with your bedtime drink to optimize your performance by morning. 1. Light evening movement. After dinner, ideally an hour or more before your drink, go for a 10 to 15-minute walk. Walking after meals helps regulate blood sugar and stimulates nitric oxide production. One study from Diabetes Care showed that post-meal walking improves insulin sensitivity, which in turn supports testosterone balance and inflammation control. Think of this walk as your vascular primer setting the stage for that nighttime blood flow support. 2. Gentle pelvic floor engagement. Yes, Kegels are for men too, especially those over 50. Your pelvic floor muscles help control blood flow into and out of the penis. Weakness here can lead to performance issues, especially with maintaining erections. Just 2 to 3 minutes of light pelvic contractions, like stopping a urine stream mid-flow, while seated or lying down before bed, can increase pelvic awareness and vascular tone. There's even emerging evidence from journals like Urology showing that pelvic floor therapy can help treat mild to moderate ED, especially when combined with lifestyle changes. 3. Stress offload rituals. Cortisol, your stress hormone, is one of the quiet saboteurs of libido, testosterone, and restful sleep. And most men don't realize how much mental stress translates into physical performance issues. So, here's a simple add-on, a 5-minute breathing exercise. Try this. Inhale slowly for 4 seconds. Hold for 7. Exhale for 8. Repeat 5 times. This is called the 478 method, and it's clinically shown to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, calming your heart rate, relaxing blood vessels, and easing you into sleep. 4. Heat exposure with a twist. A warm shower before bed isn't just about hygiene. It triggers peripheral vasodilation, drawing blood away from your core, cooling your internal temperature, and priming your brain for melatonin release. Studies in sleep medicine reviews show that warm showers 1 to 2 hours before sleep can improve sleep onset and depth. It also complements your beetroot drink by further supporting nitric oxide, immediate vasodilation. 5. Bedroom environment scan. Finally, check your sleep space. Cool temperature 65 to 68 deg GF or 18 to 20 DC, low light, no screens, even minimal light exposure at night can disrupt melatonin and testosterone rhythms according to the Endocrine Society. Now, none of these behaviors are extreme. You don't need to overhaul your life. But when you stack them, evening walk, vascular-friendly drink, pelvic floor awareness, stress release, and a restful sleep setup, you're creating a metabolic and hormonal environment where performance naturally improves. No gimmicks, no short-term fixes, just small science-backed behaviors that compound. Because the truth is, men over 50 don't need to chase hacks. They need consistency, clarity, and strategies that respect the complexity of the body. Let's bring this all together. We started with a truth that many men feel, but few say out loud, that after 50 seconds something changes. Morning erections become less reliable. Energy feels slower to build, confidence and performance quietly starts to waver. But we've also seen that this isn't random. It's not a punishment for aging or a sign that something is broken beyond repair. It's biology responding to behavior, to vascular health, to hormonal rhythms, and to lifestyle patterns that either support or sabotage your performance. We've learned that sexual health is vascular health, and that circulation is king. That nitric oxide is the quiet molecule behind powerful blood flow. That beetroot juice taken in the right amount at the right time can support vasodilation, sleep quality, and ultimately performance. That nutrients like magnesium, polyphenol, and nitrates nourish your endothelium, the thin lining of your blood vessels that controls blood flow. That deep sleep is when testosterone is made and penile tissue is oxygenated. That small habits, walking, relaxing, breathing stack to amplify results. Here's what I want you to remember. Erectile function is a vital sign. It tells you how well your heart, your nerves, your hormones, and your blood vessels are working together. And the good news, these are all systems you can support, not with gimmicks, but with gentle daily tools. Start tonight. Not with pressure, but with presence. Pour yourself 1/2 to 1 cup of nitrate-rich beetroot juice. Create a quiet space to wind down. Breathe. Let your body restore. And in the morning, notice not just what's happening below the bell, but how you feel in your energy, your clarity, your confidence. Because here's the truth I share with every patient who walks into my clinic. Worried or confused? You don't have to be afraid of your body. You just need good information. If this video helped you reframe what's really happening with your performance and gave you tools that feel doable, share it, drop a comment, subscribe. We'll keep breaking down myths, exploring the science, and giving you grounded, shame-free answers. Stay curious, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one. Because your health deserves clarity, not fear.